Hey, Dr. Mary.
Well, good afternoon, Richie Witt.
Ready or not, here comes your joke of the week.
Okay, I'm ready.
Why did the lonely bowl of yeast go to the chiropractor?
Why?
Just wanted to feel needed. Episode 3, Dr. Mary. We made it.
Yay!
And viewership is growing at your YouTube channel.
Like 65 people now.
It's growing, I said.
yay.
I didn't say it was there yet, but we're making progress.
What is our goal?
Whatever you want it to be.
Okay.
What do you want it to be? You know what I want it to be? More than it was last week.
I want it to be more than a cat viewing.
Oh, cats are really popular.
I
though.
know.
We better have a cat fall off this desk, then we'll be more than a cat.
Okay, we'll work on it.
All right, next week on Dr. Mary's Chiropractical, we're bringing in a cat. All right, I'm Richie Witt, your host, and she, of course, is Dr. Mary Collings, the chiropractor that's here not to impress you with big words, but to improve your life with little changes, the practical sort of changes. And it is episode 3. On the show today, I'm going to ask you the best food for my spine. Is there such a thing? And, of course, you'll have our wisecrack of the week. What do we got this week?
Well, this week, since the seasons are changing, we're talking about footwear.
Footwear.
Yes.
Not going to walk around barefoot because it's too cold.
Well, that's a start.
All right, that's a start.
We'll
Wisecrack
work
of
on
the
it.
week coming up. Let's check out Dr. Mary's social media where you can follow her, follow us, and get in touch with her. Social media, of course, she's got her YouTube channel. That's Dr. Mary Collings. Facebook, and shout out to Facebook Live right now. Your viewers are watching us. That's Highland Park. I'm not from Boston. Highland Park Spine and Sports Medicine. Twitter and Instagram, Dr. Mary Collings. And, of course, your website, drmarycollings.com. If people want to make an appointment, they just go to the website, and all the numbers are there.
They're there?
And they can go see you in Las Colinas, Highland Park, or coming soon, the Star in Frisco.
Yes.
What's soon?
Somewhere in the next 6 months-ish.
Should I hold you to that? Sounds very, very nebulous.
It's construction issues,
There you
maybe.
go. Sure is. All right, and of course, if you want to send in a question to Dr. Mary, criticize her co-host, or be a partner with the show, she reads all of her email and she replies to most of it. Dr. Mary at drmarycollings.com. Actually, you're pretty good on email. I'll give you credit.
Right.
All right, and again, we hop around. Let's don't take ourselves too seriously. I will mention you're having another good hair day today.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's start out with, well, I talked about food. Because the holidays are upon us, everybody's thinking about what do you bring in, what do we, there's, Thanksgiving, it's a season of getting fat. You know this,
Right,
unfortunately.
yeah.
So if you had a last meal, lay it out for me. Not that there's anything wrong, I can't predict the future, and I'm not a good
thank
chef, but I was just wondering,
you.
if this was your last meal, what would you order? Not
Well,
for healthy, just for indulgence.
Just for indulgence-wise, I'd have to say, because at Albernays, one of my favorite restaurants
Yeah,
in town,
amen to that.
they had the best pot roast in the entire world. It was just perfect, and it was always on mashed potatoes with little baby carrots. It was perfect. And now it's off the menu, so it makes me very sad. So I hope Albernays sees this and puts it back on the menu for my last meal.
Now,
whenever
I
that should
have dined with you at Albernays, and you have your own booth.
be. I do, yes.
So somebody that has their own booth at Albernays can't have their own menu item at
That's what I'm
Albernays? What's up with
wondering
that?
about. I need to work on that a
Al,
little bit.
come
I
on.
know, especially with his 2 locations now.
Right. He's
Yeah.
got 2 chances
And a north
to
and a
screw you
south.
over.
Right.
Okay, now, so it would be pot roast. But what's your favorite healthy meal? Like, what's your go-to? And obviously, you watch your, you're healthy. You watch your diet, and
Sometimes, but I try. You
Most
know
of
what?
the time.
I'm good with my backup meal at like Al's or when I got was
Yeah.
like I like a good chicken breast, maybe a little sautéed spinach, and I still am a mashed potato girl.
yeah,
And thanks.
that's your Oklahoma roots. You know
That's
that.
totally, absolutely
Right?
right.
You got your palate and your mashed potatoes, and you're happy. You're good to go.
Always.
All right. Are there foods that are good for your bones? Yeah, 'cause as a kid, well, at least when I was a kid, we had this pyramid, a food pyramid.
Yeah.
I don't know if People are old enough to remember that.
Absolutely.
And it was like meat, vegetables, and dairy.
Right.
And now it's like no, and
no, maybe a little here and there. Well,
So it was always milk that was good for your bones, and is that have we busted that myth to
well, I think
death?
it's more the calcium that's in the milk that's good for your bones. And yeah, the pyramid doesn't look like a pyramid anymore. I think it's more like a star.
Yeah.
You know, it's got all different kind
Right.
of angles to it. But you know, and we have a friend in common that has a DNA test that, you know, tells you what to eat, what to take,
Yes.
what to do. And like, I think sometimes it's just everybody's DNA is going to be different on what foods are going to be better for you. And I
Right.
think that's a great way to understand. And, you know, I changed a lot of my diet when I figured out like, oh, no wonder I don't do very well with
Absolutely.
avocados because I had a high fat sensitivity.
Yeah.
So I got rid of avocados. So it's sometimes, I think it depends on the person. I think for the most part for kids, when you don't know what to, you know, what to give them, you know, stay with the basics. I think dairy can be a little overdone. So, you know,
I used to
maybe a
drink
little
whole
lighter.
milk as a kid.
Oh, absolutely.
Could you drink whole? Could you drink a glass of cold whole milk right now?
I could not.
I couldn't.
Never could. Yeah.
Let's give a shout out. You mentioned our mutual friend Kurt Johnson,
Yes.
who's a DNA guru.
Guru.
I've been tested. You've been tested,
Yes.
and it makes immediate changes in your life. It tells you exactly.
Absolutely.
I know you like this food, but you don't eat that, and you eat this, and here you work out this many days doing it. If you mess up your potential, health-wise, it's your own fault now. What we know
Right,
about DNA.
absolutely. We have all the
And
information.
his company is Simplified Genetics, simplifiedgenetics.com. Good friend of mine. He might even be here on Air Media.
Oh, I love that.
before
That'd
we
be
know
fun.
it. Yep. Is there a best food for your back? And is it baby back ribs? That's a
You
fair
had
question.
to. You know, I thought the joke was at the beginning.
This is a serious science question.
Right. I don't know that there's a specific food for your back. I would say a nice anti-inflammatory diet would be great for all the joints.
Anti-inflammatory diet.
Yes.
Like what's that?
So,
Give me an example.
kind of more towards your Mediterranean, lots of olive oils, clean, like a little clean living kind of stuff. I think that's a little bit better.
All right, I'm with you.
And Dr. Oz just put out a great book that's, you know, Foods Can Fix It, which I thought was a really cute little title as well. But it's amazing information in there about, like, and he kind of lists ailments and different complaints and what foods are great for that.
So you see your patients, all ages, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Like, what's your age range?
You know, I prefer I like them to be about 5 months old at least.
5 months?
5 months.
What?
But some parents bring their kids in for sure at least 5 days, and so like sometimes they'll be little
what?
bitties.
5 days?
5 days.
What do you do to a baby that's 5 days old?
Not much, but sometimes if they've had a traumatic birth
Not
or
much.
and it's just good to make sure if they've got colic, it's just little things that we can do to help them out a little bit.
Really?
And then it
I
goes
thought you were
all the
say
way
5 years old. You said 5 months old.
5 months, and then all the way to like 90s.
Okay, so when you're, I just got my pen. When you're 70s, 80s, 90s, you fall down the stairs and break your hip. Is that because your bone density is deteriorating? And
Well, it also
do
depends
you-
on the trauma, but
how
yeah.
do you stop that? Oh, well, obviously.
Well, I think, like, again, a good physical exam every year with your doctor, your
Right.
internal medicine specialist. I think that's always important so they can make sure and run, you know, blood levels and all that. But, you know, it also looks back to, you know, of our grandparents' age. You know, my grandmother lived to be 97 and was, you know, solid.
I bet she was whole milk too.
She probably was, and lard and all that stuff.
and-
But I think it depends on lifestyle. It depends on just a little bit of genetics too.
Yeah.
Just
And
what,
maybe you
what
should wear
God gave
football
you.
pants with hip pads. I'm just saying, it would help. It's not stylish. What do you want, style or substance?
Substance, please.
As your
Yeah.
official assistant, I am going to diagnose every old person to wear football pants with hip pads.
Or like the
What-
cottonelle,
if
and
they
you
do
just stuff it
that,
through.
watch the significance of hip-related injuries will decline.
All right, we're gonna put
So
you
will
on that.
general happiness. But
But not fashion forward.
as you're forward, no, we'll go down the toilet. All right, it
Great,
is
great.
the Dr. Mary's Chiropractical here on Air Media, Richie Witt and Dr. Mary Collings. Speaking of Kurt Johnson, we were talking about
Yes.
yoga guru.
Oh yeah.
Yoga, a waste of time.
You know what?
'Cause it was so hip and trendy, and there's goat yoga and hot yoga and naked yoga and water in a cup yoga. It just feels like it's a fad to me. What's your thoughts?
But you have to think, it's been around forever. It just became cool when, you know,
I
they
agree with
started to
that.
make it a little bit more, you know, you could find it instead of just Dallas Yoga Center, which has been around for years and years. It was like legit. It was people did it for their health and their well-being versus now it's just like, okay, it's kind of a fun thing. But, you know, we've incorporated, Casey Smith, our trainer with the Mavericks, he's incorporated into the training for all the basketball. So it's a mandatory yoga. So, but
Wait,
think about it.
what do you mean mandatory?
It's part of their training. It's like, check mark, you've got to do. It's a 30-minute yoga class that they have, and they have to be present. They have to do it. And
Free throw shooting, stretching, yoga.
yoga. But I think it's
And what is
done
it?
great.
What's the big benefit? The number one benefit? Just flexibility?
So, and everybody's gonna be different flexibility. So everybody's
Right.
got a different muscle. You know, I might be able to touch my toes, you can't. But
I can
mobility,
touch your toes right now. Feel me too.
funny. But mobility, we should all be the same. So skeletally, we are all designed the same. It's our muscle twitch fibers are going to be different
Yep.
from person to person. But we should be able to, like, I should be able to lift my leg up and tie my shoe. You should be able to do it too.
Yep.
If it doesn't, then again, that's what I look for when I'm treating patients. But for our athletes, we want them to be able to be, you know, if they get knocked around, you know, thrown around, we want to be able to have the mobility to
Absolutely.
kind of take care of themselves.
Yep.
So I think it's, and I think sometimes a little peace of mind too. It's just a quiet. It's not, you know, it's, you know,
Turn
not
the noise
sports
off-
specific.
Turn the noise down, if not off, just for a minute.
Exactly.
Like you never do with your Netflix and chill.
I
Which
don't-
you rarely do.
Rarely, right?
Rarely.
But I believe in yoga. I think it's a wonderful addition. Now, 5 days a week might be a little bit much, but I always try to have patients, and I'm kind of getting into the Tai Chi thing. I think it's also a very slow, methodical kind of, you know, movement pattern as well. But I always try to get patients to do it maybe 1 day a week at least.
Right.
You
But
know?
you're, and I've known you for going on 30 years. You've always been a moderation proponent.
Absolutely.
That there's too much of too much of a good thing
Right.
is a bad thing. You
Yeah.
wouldn't. Do you see patients 7 days a week?
No.
There you go. That just made my point.
Yeah,
for
there
me.
you go. Right. Okay.
All right, we're talking to Dr. Mary Collings here on Dr. Mary's Chiropractical. We talked about how you've been jet setting all over the world, and I want to get to your balance again because that's what most people struggle with, and whether it's on a really small scale or a big scale, whether it's, you know, having 3 kids in school and a job, or where, you know, I have a charity function in New York one day and you know, Paris the next week. How do you, because you're a down-to-earth Oklahoma girl at heart. I know this.
Absolutely.
Your pallets and whole milk in your past.
Right.
How have you adapted to put on the little black dress and be the smiley face so much? Because you're philanthropic and you do this a lot. I mean, it's good for your business and it's in your heart to do it, but it's also a challenge to be that on all the time.
Well, I think it's just like being around people that you like to be around. I think that's the important part. So I'm not going to go for a cause that I'm not, you know, not passionate about. And like I said, and I think that came with age, because, you know, when you're 20, you go to everything. It's just like, couldn't get enough of it.
Right.
30, you start whittling away a little bit about, like, okay, the main ones, but also that kind of be fun. I think as 40 and, yes, 50 now, I kind of realize it's like more about, okay, who's deserving of my time?
There you go.
And
It's wisdom, not just age.
Oh, wisdom! I
Yeah,
like that.
wisdom.
And things that I really that are important to me that I hopefully will make our world a little bit better. And those are the ones I like to support.
So what's your favorite charity? Or do you have one to put you on the spot?
Oh yeah, guys. I mean, there's so many of them. I'm really fond of Dallas Women's Foundation because they do everything for girls and women out there, and they raise money and then they give it to different organizations that support women. You know, I'm also trying to support the foundations that our athletes have. You know, Dirk has a foundation,
Oh, yeah.
and so I try to kind of do whatever I can for them. You know, Stars have their own foundation as well. But you know, there's not just one. I am passionate about the Holocaust Center, you know,
Yes.
and the ADL is an amazing organization for Anti-Defamation League. That they do a lot of, you know, bullying has become a big thing, so
Yep.
they're very big on that. So I like to support them as well.
So in your answer, which is very impressive and it's honorable, but I think we see now why there's not a lot of downtime in Dr. Mary Collings' life. What's your favorite charity? You named 12 of them just then.
Okay, all right, right.
All right, so the most common ailment that you see. Like last episode, I think you told us 60 patients a day-ish.
Yes.
So, and I know there's not one sole answer, but the biggest reason somebody comes in your office and says, I'm in here because of my blank, what is that blank?
I mean, it really is pretty much across the board.
Really?
So, but if I had to pick one that
You
might
have
be
to
just a
pick one.
little bit, I'd say lower back.
Lower
that's
back.
That's what drives people, because it you know, limits their life and limits their lifestyle. If you can't bend over to, you know, tie your shoe or
Yeah.
get clothes out of the dryer or whatever, it's going to have a little impact on what's going on.
It's debilitating. I came to you
Yes.
maybe 2 years ago now.
And you're dying.
I was, because I'd never had a back problem, not even
Right.
anything.
No.
And I'm a big tennis player, and during a tournament, I didn't feel anything, but after a tournament, the next day I did your trick, went over to bend my shoe, tie my shoe, and it just, like, yeah, it was gitchy.
Itchy. There's our word again.
And hunched over into your office, and I was like, well, fix this now. It is urgent if your lower back is
Right.
screwed up.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
No.
And what's the number one, and this is very generic again, but is there a number one reason for that number one problem? Is it posture? Is it?
And I think it goes back to habits and being like the same thing. I see a lot of people now for a longevity of time, so 25 years in practice, like sleeping on the same side of the bed for 40 years. Think about
That's wrong too?
sleep, and then absolutely.
Wait, what?
Yes. So because think about it too, because most people like to sleep facing outward. So sleep on the bed, and then it's the same side over and over. So it just gets repetitive. I've got people that are at their desk. They've had the same desk set up for 20 years.
Right.
Nothing's changed. Trash can's still here. The keyboard's here. Like nothing's changed. And so,
You still think
and
of
if they're
things
over
like
here
that.
looking all the time and they're doing it, or their mouse is way over here. So after a while, it just kind of gets them into trouble.
So that repetitive
back into
motion,
habits.
I guess because we think of it as, I just did it one time. But if you pull back and look at that over, like you said,
20 years.
20 years of just doing that, I mean, it
Yeah.
actually makes sense. I think you're educating me. You're
Is
not
it-
brainwashing me, but you're educating me. So what do you recommend? Like, honey, I know for 40 years I've slept on my side of the bed, but tonight we're flipping the mattress, we're sleeping at the foot of the bed, and we're switching sides. And then the divorce rate's through the roof. No.
No,
But do you recommend just something that
Absolutely.
simple?
Yeah, something that simple. And it doesn't have to be like for all nights, but every once in a while, most people when they travel, they still sleep on the same side of the bed, even in the hotel room. So it's like
We are creatures of habit, aren't we?
Totally. And make something different.
What about couples sleeping in separate rooms? Do you recommend that?
I think that's even better. How about separate homes?
You know what?
even?
Divorce rate goes down significantly.
Right. There was a great article in a magazine I was reading, a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, it's called Together but Separate. It's like
Yeah.
a whole thing now. They're married, but they live in separate homes, and they kind of meet for dinner, and then they go their own way. Brilliant, I think.
It's kind of like friends with benefits.
But married,
But married,
yeah.
married friends with
I
benefits.
like it.
Now, I'll confess to this. 3 or 4 nights a week, I do sleep in separate room from Sybil, my wife. But not because of my mattress or not because she doesn't like my
Snoring?
snoring. No,
Oh.
it's because she does morning radio and she wakes up at 3:30.
Oh.
And I don't
Don't want to do that.
love her career, but I don't want to get up at 3:30 and give her coffee and shove her out the door. So I just want to hear that she made it okay. So I sleep in a separate room.
And maybe that's why your back doesn't bother you so much.
Knock on wood, maybe that because I have a chiropractor that's a friend.
There you go.
All right, are our backs engineered to walk upright? I think I read this somewhere, and I don't want to get too deep, but we used to be single-cell organisms that crawled out of the water, and then we developed a spine. And then one day we thought, let's walk upright. And our spines were like, whoa, we're built to crawl, not to compress. That's deep.
I would say that's a whole
Okay, how about
well.
this? Is our spine engineered to do what we expect it to do?
It is if you look at, I wish we had a picture, when you look at a perfect anatomical
Yes.
spine.
Would you like me to stand up? I'm perfect.
No. When you look at
Good, thank God you
our
said no.
curves are designed for impact and for, I think, but,
Okay.
but all of our forward head position, especially lately in the last 10 to 20 years from phones to computers, we lose our curvature in our neck probably I'd say probably around the age of 28 to 30, usually after people get their first job out of college and they've sat in the same position in the same desk for
Jobs
2
are
to 4
killing
years.
us, these sedentary desk
I
jobs.
know it's not good, and which is why the standing desk, I think it has a
Yeah, I was gonna
possibility,
ask you about that.
but it also, you have to learn to stand as much as you have to learn to sit. So you can't just say, oh, I'm going to stand up, but then you got bad posture standing as well. But I think our spine, yes, I think we are created for activity.
Mm-hmm.
I think hunting and gathering was probably that, but
Yeah.
now our hunting and gathering is going to Trader Joe's. But I think it's
not really the
sometimes
same.
it's. I think it should be able to withstand all of the
So
activity.
if people don't listen to your little chiropractical tips, what are we going to look like in 100 years?
Look
are
like
we
the
gonna be
creepy
hunt-
little old guy that's
We
all
are-
forward over.
Are we
and
seriously?
I think so.
Like the progression of man, and then the next,
it's going back
from
the
here
other
we're-
way.
Good
They
Lord!
say everything
Please
comes
listen to her tips.
Everything comes around. I was like, I think that when you
We'll
see
be
that,
crawling in 300 years because they didn't listen to your tips.
I know.
Thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you.
Dr. Chiropractical. I've got a friend who says, I played golf with him a couple weeks ago. And when we had that cold, I mean, it sound country, when they had that cold snap a couple weeks
Cold
ago.
spell. It's a cold spell.
He called it a snap. But he said he could predict that in his knee. He can always feel the weather change in his knee.
Right.
I think he's full of it.
No,
Is that
there's
re-
something, absolutely
What?
something to it.
Come on,
No,
what is
absolutely.
that?
So it's,
There's no science behind this.
there's probably not a whole lot of research, but there's like just, I mean, again, 25 years experience, I can say now,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because I see patients that'll have, like they know it's like not comfortable. I see it when the time needs to change, when the season needs to change. Everybody's kind of, like I said, we need to go into hibernation mode, but it's usually the barometric pressure that changes it.
So there's a little bit of
Yes.
science.
Oh, yeah.
So pressure on your joints can make you'll notice that.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to allow that, I believe. What's the weirdest bone in our body? Like mine might be my clavicle or my phalange.
Because you just like to say the word.
I do love to say phalange. Isn't that my finger somehow?
yes,
Something?
it is.
See?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what the weirdest one is,
I mean, you work on every bone in the body. There's
Yeah.
256 bones in the body.
but like.
I just made that. Is that right?
Pretty close.
Have you ever had a phalange injury where you had I can't.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Get
believe
shut in
that.
a car door, or they, get it, strained with get hit with a baseball, basketball, something like that.
Right. All right.
I don't know if there's really just one weird one.
There's no question.
I
Can you
think
do some
just-
research on that?
I will work on that
Go
for
through
you.
25 years of files. I want to know the weirdest
The
bone
weirdest
you've ever-
bone?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll take you a minute.
All right.
Okay, so speaking of you knowing everybody, which you do, my circle of friends, if I say, oh, I was out last week, blah, 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 they'll say, well, he knows her and she knows Dr. Mary. I mean, it's your circle, you're like Kevin Bacon. Everybody, some people may know the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Do you have 6 degrees of Dr. Mary?
There's sometimes I think it goes down to 4 degrees. Like
4
sometimes
degrees?
sometimes it gets to where it's even just a little bit almost like what? But my favorite, like the most random
Yes.
crossover. I had one of the doctors I work with at the Stars, Dr. DeMiff, was in Hawaii doing a lecture for someone, and he and his wife were in a gallery. They were looking and they had a piece of art they liked, and so they were kind of looking at it. And the salesperson came and said, "Oh, are you interested in this?" And she's, he's like, "Oh, we live in Dallas. I don't know how we get back there." And she goes, "Oh, do you know Dr. Mary Collins?" And he was like, "Yeah, I do. How do you know her?"
I mean, that's actually a tribute to how friendly you are and how good you are. You know that. You're not going to toot your own horn, but I will. I mean,
I thought that was. I was like, okay, that's
I would
way
say
far away.
99 and a half out of 100 people that I talk to that know you are very complimentary.
Oh,
There's
that's
half
nice.
a person
That's good.
who didn't like the phalange treatment he had. or
Okay,
something.
well,
There's
that's
no
all right.
telling. All right, let me throw some names at you in Dallas. And you
Okay.
just tell me if it would take 4 steps to get to them.
Okay. All right.
Richie Witt.
Oh, hello.
I'm starting easy. Troy
Okay.
Aikman.
Yes.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Yes.
Mike Madonna.
Yes.
J.R. Ewing.
Yes.
Like Larry Hagman?
Yes.
Oh
So.
my God, I was kidding. But
So
okay.
who was his co-star? Who was Sue Ellen?
Donna.
So she was good friends with. I think we've talked about my godson,
Yes.
with his grandmother, Mrs. Schlegel. They were good friends, so I met Sue Ellen at one of their events, and there we go.
So J.R. Ewing would have said, oh, yeah, I know Dr. Mary.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know there's 4 steps to get to
There's
us.
4 steps.
There you go.
George W. Bush.
Yes.
Could you could.
Yes.
You could 4-step him.
Yep. I could
We're
force
gonna have to
him.
diagram this one show. That'd be fascinating.
fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We have that big,
We have big board.
We have that big wall behind us. We can just tack stuff
Get
up
out the
there.
big board.
Erica Badu.
Maybe not.
We got one. Okay.
Maybe
Saw her in
that's one.
concert. And you're friends with, you were probably friends with Kid Craddock, but people on the show as well.
Yes.
Do you know the mayor at all, Mike Rawlings? Did you get to him?
I could get there. That might be a 5-6 step.
5, 6. And then, how about Lee Harvey Oswald? Could you get there?
I don't think so.
Good. We finally got
Yay,
one to
we don't
say
wanna-
no.
I don't wanna be
Are
close
you a
to that one.
JFK conspiracy at
I
all?
do want to know.
You do?
I do.
Were you excited that the files came out recently?
But there was
or-
nothing in it. There was no excitement there.
All right. So we finally found somebody that Dr. Mary can't get to in 4 steps, and he died 40 years ago.
Okay, maybe.
How about this week's tip of the week called the Wisecrack of the Week?
So we're going to talk about.
Okay, wisecrack of the week, better known as the tip of the week. Give us something simple that's going to help our lives in a big way.
Well, with the season change coming, I
Yes.
thought we maybe could do a little bit of footwear.
Footwear.
So one of the, my patients can tell you that one of the things I am just adamant about, I do not like flip-flops. I think they're the devil shoe. I think they're horribly made and they're terrible on our body. And it goes back to that, like, foot stable, ankle mobile kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I think now with the cold weather, we can put them away and maybe put them away for good. Get around
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
Who goes on a crusade against summer footwear? Now, you're just saying there's no support?
There's no support. Anything you have to hold on with your toes that doesn't have a back on it, it's going to make you work twice as hard.
What should we wear? I know we're coming into the holidays. We're all
Right.
going to be wearing boots and galoshes and moon.
We live in Texas. I don't know about that.
Okay.
It's not a shoe with a back on it. Anything with a back on it is what I like. It doesn't have to be
Did you
super
develop
supportive.
one of these that's comfortable for summer? Because you should.
No, but that would be awesome.
Because
wouldn't
people, I mean, you're 100% right. Obviously, it's horrible support and they're flat, and I feel different after a day of wearing them. I don't
Oh,
like
yeah,
it, and I don't.
it hurts.
It creeps me out to have
Things in
leather
between your
between my
toes.
toes. But it's summer. People love those.
it? So there's many
Just
options.
give them a good alternative.
So like there's a great shoe called Chaco that a lot of the kids wear. You'll see it on, and it's very popular in Colorado and for hiking, things like that. There's so many options out there.
What
Like
about-
even just like my new favorite shoe is called the Cloud Shoe by On.
The
And
Cloud Shoe.
The Cloud Shoe.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites.
All
It's
right.
and it's a slip-on, like it's a little tennis shoe. It's a slip-on shoe. It's very supportive. You don't have to tie it. You don't have to wear socks with it if you don't want to. But that's
You had
kind
me at not tying it.
that was my flip-flop for the summer.
What about toe boot sock shoes? That individual toe.
Ooh, I don't like them.
sockets?
I don't. Ooh. I think they make your toes spread out way too
I
much.
can't.
I don't love it.
To me, it'd be torture, but I see people at the gym wearing them all the time.
Yeah, I don't
Do you
love that.
recommend them?
No. I do like
Not
that.
because your personal cringe face, because
No,
are they good
I
for
just
you?
don't think they're good for you. I don't think it's good to have your toes splayed out like that. I think they need to be
I'm 100%
natural.
with you.
I do like the compression socks though. The stance socks that you see like a lot of the kids wearing. Well, they're all right.
They used to call tube socks back in our day, and we wore them up to their mid calf.
Right, but
you
these
like
are
those?
yeah, I do.
Okay. I don't know about that. So there's your wisecrack of the week. Don't wear foot shoes or flip flops.
Yeah, shoes without backs.
Put on your hunting boots. It's winter. All right, there's your wisecrack of the week. Dr. Mary's social media. Again, she got her YouTube channel, Dr. Mary Collings. Facebook is Highland Park Spine and Sports Medicine. She's on Twitter and Instagram at Dr. Mary Collings. The website, drmarycollings.com. Go there, make an appointment, or send in your email to drmary@drmarycollings.com. What do you got this week? Where you jetted off to? I know you're going
I think
somewhere
I'm
fun.
actually home this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Netflix and chill.
Possibly.
In your toe socks.
No.
Maybe not.
No.
All right, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching to Dr. Mary's Chiropractical. I'm Richie Witt, reminding you again why Dr. Mary is the best, most caring chiropractor in DFW, because she's got your back.
Yes. Thanks, Ricky.